Happy Monday, y'all. This is part 2, episode 3 of my Vampires in New Orleans series. This time we're shifting our focus over to the Sabretooth clan and Father Sebastian, who is the leader of said vampire coven. Now, as you know, in some of the other episodes, we've talked about some of the legends of vampirism in New Orleans, and we know it is a hotbed of activity. It is considered to be one of the leading, most haunted places, and just really a mecca, if you will, of spiritual belief and activity. And vampires have definitely been a part of all of that kind of legacy and lore that has made up what is now our beautiful Crescent City. As you know, in some of the previous episodes, I touched on Anne Rice, the introduction of the vampire Lestat, the rise of the vampire balls, the psychic vampire codex, and the presence of covens within New Orleans, namely citing one of the most popular, well-known ones, which is the Sabretooth clan, led by Father Sebastian. Father Sebastian is the leading founding member of the Sabretooth vampire clan. This is a picture of him right here. Father Sebastian is a fangsmith, a published author, and an impresario. He is a former dental assistant, which gives him a lot of credibility as a fangsmith. He's very well known on the Travel Channel. He's been on Ghost Adventures many times. He's written countless books. Among them are the Vampire Almanac 2000, the Vampire Sanguininomicon, the Lexicon of the Living Vampire, Vampire Virtues, the Red Vampire Magic, the Grimoire of the Living Vampire, the Vampire Almanac 2012, Vampire Virtues, the Purple Veil. He's been on A&E's The Secret Life of Vampire, Vampire Secrets on the History Channel, Vampires, and Ghost Adventure. He worked as a club promoter creating the New York Vampire Ball in 1990 and the Endless Night Festival in New Orleans in 1998, which is one of the largest vampire gatherings in the world. He wrote Black Veils, which was based on a code of conduct from a nightclub that he managed, and it was entitled The Long Black. And this is Father Sebastian and his wife, Lady Lynn. So obviously Father Sebastian has done a ton of different types of interviews. He's put a lot of content out there. He is probably one of the leading contributors to vampire culture and educating people about what vampire lifestyle is about, the different types of vampires that you'll find, where vampire culture stemmed from. I mean, this is a guy that is a plethora of knowledge if you're interested in the real vampire culture. And he was one of the first people that pioneered a lot of the big events that people were drawn to. He has a lot of knowledge, and if you go look up his information, go to his website, check out Endless Night, Vampire Ball, you're going to find a lot of information. Everything's very organized and structured within his coven. Sabretooth was something that formed out of him becoming a fangsmith. And more or less with his group, they do have elders, and they have an elder system and how they, denote that in different ways. He explains that. I just watched a YouTube video the other day where he was explaining more about that. But usually it denotes the amount of time that members of his coven have actually had their fangs set. So Father Sebastian, having started out being a dental assistant, had an advantage whenever he became interested in vampire culture and really began to start living the lifestyle as a, established elite vampire elder. And since then, he has gone forth to set the Sabretooth clan to fulfill that endeavor. This is one of his blogs here, and I really think it was interesting because, in his own words, our collective mission for the vampire culture of the Sabretooth clan we call the Great Work. This is the foundation of why I wrote the Black Veils. The Great Work is to inspire, challenge, and set example through the Sabretooth clan and events. Each individual should strive for personal nobility. Everyone should strive to be their own king or queen. I have seen the vampire mythos has evolved, and we are entering a new and potentially amazing vampiric age. Beyond anything of the past, yes, even the 1990s. And I am extremely excited. It is our opportunity so let's not mess it up. So below is a list of 10 things which I suggest individuals do to take action to improve vampire culture beyond just partying and spending all day online playing politics. I forewarn, this great work will take focus, hard work, creativity, action, and effort. And here are some of the 10 things that he listed. Number 1 is music. Listen to classics, educate yourself on lyrics, or support a band talking about vampire culture. In my last video, I talked about that. Here's a pretty cool artist. This is Boku Hide's YouTube page. Excuse me. I can't speak English lately for some reason. I've been tripping over my tongue a lot. And here's one of the bands that he is in, which is really cool. No Silence is awesome. This is a pretty cool song. And I thought we would also talk quickly about Anthony Montemarano, who is a member of the Sabretooth Coven. And we can check out his music right here. His next thing on the list is dance, be it the ballroom, the waltz, ballet, gothic, industrial. The list goes on and on. He's telling people to up their game and learn how to do those dances. Martial arts, for the discipline alone and what that can add to one's established wisdom and how they carry themselves. He actually mentions number 4, education, and the first thing he says is that the BDSM and pagan communities have workshops, courses, classes on a variety of subjects of interest, and that those things can be used to help vampires form courses and presentations on vampire mythos, mythology, actual legends and history and instances of vampirism, and really just make them an overall more confident and academically inclined person. He encourages people to write poems, books, songs, articles, blogs, anything that could inspire, educate, and challenge the modern vampire culture that is contributing to the awareness of others around us. Gastronomy, eating and drinking, cooking, hosting dinner parties. This is such a unifying aspect of vampire culture because dining and eating and being refined is part of the entire purpose of the vampire ball. Be a tourist. Visit, travel, and experience other places. Get to know your local monuments, the local food, history, culture, any kind of sites of interest, and learn and network with other vampires and those who are also interested in those things, while showing hospitality and grace at the same time. Being communion. Do your energy communion with other energy vampires. Find consensual people who are willing to engage and exchange in those things together. Hold hands, breathing, meditating, cleansing, centering, and grounding. Talk, because communication is always key in any. Do not just set aside and focus it on your differences and try to find the things that you actually have in common. Talk about music, humor, food, your favorite TV show and films, the latest book that you read that talks about vampire culture. Craft. Make, whether it be a new course, make a beautiful costume for your next vampire ball, or crafting is good for the soul, and it's a way to, the entire point is to get an idea across and share art. This can be symbolic, this can be healing, this can be just overall good for you, and it contributes art to the vampire culture, and that gets people interested and curious and wanting to ask questions and be more involved. So that sums up episode 3 of part 2. In the next part, we're going to start describing the tourist boom that's happened in New Orleans, the Vampire Cafe, and different events and things that happen there at other times aside from the Vampire Ball. And I should be getting the Psychic Vampire Codex soon, and then we'll start taking a look at that as soon as it arrives. I just got an update literally while I was making this that said it was shipped out today, so it should be here soon. Until next time, y'all have a great week, and stay safe out there. Bye.